Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Smash TV's District Roundup, a recap of what has been happening in the St. Mary's Area School District. I'm Kelsey Benjamin.
And I'm Melissa Fry. Now that fall is in the air, thoughts of changing leaves, wearing sweaters, and drinking apple cider are centering our heads. 2 of elementary schools celebrated Johnny Appleseed's birthday. For more on this, we turn to Carly Meeker.
Most of us know the story of Johnny Appleseed, the man who brought apple trees to the state of Pennsylvania. Students at Fox Township Elementary and South St. Mary's Elementary Schools have been learning this tale firsthand on Johnny Appleseed's birthday. At Fox Township, students in Mrs. Yost's kindergarten class spent the day participating in apple activities. Students learned to cut apples in preparation of making applesauce, which cooked in crock pots all day. The students got to enjoy it as a snack at the end of the day. The students also tasted red, yellow, and green apples and graphed the class's results. They also finger painted and predicted the number of seeds in an apple and if the apple would sink or float. The kindergarten students at South St. Mary's also celebrated Johnny Appleseed by attending story time with Mrs. Julie Boyer, the assistant principal. The children were actively listening to a story on John Chapman's Tall Tale and were able to learn why it was so important to our history. After the story ended, the students were able to pick an apple and enjoy it later, courtesy of Josh and Rebecca Krug from the Apple Blossom Farm. These activities show just how fun and creative learning can be. Reporting for Smash TV, I'm Carly Meeker.
Thanks, Carly. Several classrooms at Fox and BV have recently gotten the chance to try out a new game called BreakoutEDU. Breakout games teach critical thinking, teamwork, and complex problem solving in all content areas. The students are given a particular challenge and rules and have a fixed amount of time to use clues to solve a series of challenges, riddles, and mysteries in order to break out. After the game is over, students debrief by discussing what worked well and what didn't. Of the classrooms that participated, Mrs. Ingram's class was the only one able to break out. However, all the students had a great time and learned some important lessons.
These aren't the only learning experience that our elementary students have been participating in. Here's Nathan Taylor with more.
The first graders at Fox Township Elementary School learned how to overcome obstacles in a recent learning activity. The students in Mrs. Bovich's class read the story, Jack and Rick, in which the characters who wanted to play together were separated by a creek. After reading the story, the class discussed ways to get across the water if the area was too long for a bridge. The students then moved to the STEM classroom, were broken up in groups, and were given 6 by 6 inches pieces of aluminum foil. They needed to make a boat that could be made out of foil. The challenge was to see how many pennies could float on their boat until it sank. The boat that won was able to float 64 pennies. The students discussed how to improve their boat for next time. Reporting for Smash TV, I'm Nathan Taylor.
Thanks, Nathan. Students throughout our district aren't just learning in the classroom. Here are Genevieve Smith, Jared Glass, Blake Grishaw, and Nathan Taylor with all the details.
First grade students at South St. Mary Street Elementary School recently went on a field trip.
The first grade students had the opportunity to visit both the Crystal Fire Department and the St. Mary's City Police Department. The students got a tour of both buildings and learned what a firefighter and a policeman do during the day, from sitting on a fire truck to sitting in a cell. The students experienced everything firsthand.
The students had a great experience, and who knows, we may have some future firefighters and police officers on our hands. Reporting for Smash TV, I'm Genevieve Smith.
Recently, the elementary and Richmond kids got to learn firsthand about some local history. Along with their teacher, Miss Gump, the Richmond students traveled to Austin, PA to learn about the Austin Dam. In September 1911, the dam broke because it was built incorrectly. The flood destroyed the town of Austin, causing $10 million in damage and killing at least 78 people. The Richmond students explored the parks and its numerous maze-like paths. They also learned about local history, visited the Austin Museum and a one-room schoolhouse, and identified different types of trees. Local history for all of us to learn. If you ever get a chance, visit the ancient ruins of the Austin Dam. Reporting for Smash TV, this is Jared Glass.
Kindergarten students at South St. Mary's Elementary School took their love for reading to a new location. The students recently walked to the public library. Mrs. Swope showed the students the circulation desk in different areas of the main library. She explained to the students how and why to get library cards and took them downstairs to the children's library. The tour ended in the large gathering area where she read stories to the children. These students will continue their love of reading. How many of our viewers have an up-to-date library card? For Smash TV, I'm Blake Gresham.
The entire 4th grade at South St. Mary's Elementary School visited the Elk Viewing Center. The 125 students and their teachers traveled to Winslow Hill, where they learned about elk, studied their daily needs, played games to reinforce the information, taught and handled different elk sheds. They enjoyed lunch at the center, visited the gift shop, and returned home. If you haven't been to the Elk Visitor Center, you should really consider going. It's a great local resource. Reporting for Smash TV, I'm Nathan Taylor.
Our elementary students aren't the only ones extending their learning beyond the classroom. Here's Carly Meeker.
The 8th grade class took their learning to the ropes and the outdoor setting of Camp Mountain Run. This 2-day learning experience has students climbing high on the ropes course. Each year, the 8th grade class at the middle school heads up to Camp Mountain Run for 2 days to enjoy a few days together as a class. During their time, the students are broken up into small groups and get to visit 9 different stations that focus on leadership, team building, individuality, trust, as well as effort. Some of the stations include the ropes course, zip lining, trust walk, campfire, tie-dyeing, fishing, minute to win it, and more. Going in, the 8th graders have no idea what to expect, but leaving, they realize how much they've grown as a class in just 2 days. This annual learning experience is a favorite among the students of the middle school and the faculty. Reporting for Smash TV, I'm Carly Meeker.
From climbing ropes to shooting hoops, the St. Mary's Lady Dutch 6th grade basketball teams competed in the Lady Cavs tournament. With the large number of participants, 6th grade was split into 2 teams. The blue team finished 2nd and the red team finished 3rd. It was a great day of basketball for both teams.
During the month of September, the high school celebrated Homecoming Week, which included dress-up spirit days, the homecoming football game, and the crowning of Queen, and the homecoming semi-formal dance. With more on some of these festivities, here is Vinnie Geithner.
Each year, the high school celebrates homecoming with a week of spirit days. For the entire week of homecoming, high school students are encouraged to participate in spirit days. On Mondays, students dressed in their either nods or jocks. Tuesdays, superheroes and villains, squared off on Good vs. Evil Day. Each class wore a specific color on Wednesday's class color day. Seniors, black, juniors, purple, sophomores, orange, and freshmen, green. Then the students jumped into the past on Throwback Thursday. Finally, on Friday, students wore as much red and blue as possible to show their Dutch pride. Reporting for Smash TV, this is Vinnie Geithner.
At halftime of the football game, the homecoming court was introduced. This year's court included Caitlin Bankovic, Rachel Glass, Ellie Greenfinner, Taylor Huff, Carly Meeker, Vanessa Rischel, and Kaylee Runyon. This year's homecoming queen is Ellie Greenfinner.
Our high school students aren't just celebrating homecoming, they are also participating in hands-on learning experiences. Recently, students in Mr. Brem's building and construction classes traveled to Bennett's Valley Elementary to work on the outdoor classroom. Students worked to put in a patio and some permanent benches.
Also, this past month, a recent graduate visited Mrs. Gavazzi's German classes. Logan Badu, a 2016 graduate, spent his entire senior year studying abroad in Germany. He spoke to Mrs. Gavazzi's students about his experience.
Thus concludes this edition of District Roundup. From all of us at Smash TV, have a good night.
And a great tomorrow.